Hey guys, it's Rosemary Garner with Busy Butcher and Hot Mess to Home Success. And so we're going to talk today about scheduling your day during the pandemic. A lot of people are stuck at home right now and they're trying to figure out how to use this time so they can get the most amount of stuff kind of done, to use this as maybe an opportunity to get some of those larger goals in place, but also to just not go nuts. If you've got kids at home, if you're trying to work from home, you've got all of this not necessarily like overwhelming expectations, but just weird. It's a lot of weird stuff that you've got to get used to. And then some people truly are overwhelmed because they're trying to work 40-hour weeks from home when they're not used to doing that, and they're trying to homeschool kids, and they're trying to make some progress on some other goals. So before we get too much further, I'm going to let you know that I created realistic optimal schedules for everyone, pretty much every situation. Speaking of unscheduled interruptions, that's my daughter. We've got realistic schedules for pretty much everybody, including those people that don't want a strict schedule and they want to unschedule. So if you need schedules, we have them. I'm going to leave a link below that you can go get them. But I also want to give you some tips on how to set this up. Number one thing is adjust your sleep schedule so that it fits whatever is optimal for you. I love to stay up really, really late at night and then sleep in all day. Now, with kids, it's a little bit tougher, but we've kind of managed to do that. So we've got elementary school kids, so we've trained them in how to safely get their own breakfast, like not cooking anything, but like milk and cereal, how to reheat pancakes, that kind of deal. So that for the general, I mean, we're definitely around there. They have access to us and things like that. We could wake up if they needed us, but for the most part, they can kind of do their own thing in the morning, and then we can wake up maybe at like 10, sometimes 11. We're really loving this whole schedule thing. But I guess my point is that if you're always waking up at 6:30 or 6 o'clock for school or for the kids' schoolwork or for work, you don't have to anymore. So if you're like really killing it till 2 or 3 in the morning, like go ahead and do that. Do whatever sleep schedule is optimal for you. Number two is you have to prioritize the things that are most important to you and then maintain speed and course in the other things. So if you would love to work from home and your boss is giving you the opportunity to work from home right now, if you can prove that you are more productive at home than you are in the office, it is going to make such a big difference later on when everything goes back to normal. You are really going to be in a great position to convince him to let you work from home long term, even if you start with just 1 day a week or 2 days a week. So that, in my mind, is the number one priority. If you love your job but you hate going into an office, this is the time to blow your boss away so that can become a permanent thing for you. Number two, if you are homeschooling or like if you were schooling at home, it's really important for you to understand that you are not actually homeschooling and that this is a national emergency. It's a national pandemic, and so that you really need to just kind of get by as much as you can. Most people have like training packets available, independent work, and things like that. If you have a preschooler and you don't have access to that, abcmouse.com is amazing. I would say possibly at the age of 3. I think below 3 it would be hard to get them involved in that. I could be wrong, but definitely at the age of 3, definitely 4 and 5 you're golden. ABC Mouse is something that teaches them based on where they are and they through online games, and starting at the age of 4, maybe late 3. My kids can navigate the computer themselves with ABC Mouse, and they didn't need a lot of oversight beyond telling them not to have drinks or food near the computer. That was pretty important. Okay, if you are trying to homeschool and they happen to give you an hour's worth of work a day, do not feel like you have to do 8 hours of homeschooling with them. First of all, actual homeschoolers rarely do 8 hours or 6 hours or even 4 hours worth of work because it's usually dedicated one-on-one time. You can get things done quicker. Second of all, don't be afraid to homeschool when you have time or when you want to make that work. Maybe you want to do it in the evenings after dinner with older kids. Maybe you want to with my 5-year-old right now, he's got a deal that if he completes his own schoolwork in the morning and it's all checked and done by the time we wake up, like I just said, we're waking up at like 10, embarrassing. He can have Xbox time during our schoolwork block on the schedule, and so that kid wakes up at 6:30 every single day, diligently does his schoolwork, so that when we wake up, we can just check it. And then during our schoolwork time, he's like playing Xbox, which is what he's doing right now. So that's an option for you too. Keep in mind, like the best part of having total control over your day is that you can just A/B test things and try things until you get something that works. Okay, and then after those two things, prioritizing, I would say that the most important thing that you do, if you don't already have this in place, is to really, really rock home management. If you can learn home management now, decent home management, this can last so much longer than the pandemic. You know, usually I have to teach people how to have what we call bare minimum effort on a consistent basis home management. And we've transformed lives, right? We really focus on, I would say, the most toughest cases of chronic disorganization. People that have tried to keep their house clean and has never ever worked. They've tried to not be late to things. They've tried to budget. They've tried to meal plan for years and it's never once worked. Those are the people that we specialize in teaching. And usually when we teach these people, we have to do it amid crazy lives, all of this like external expectations. They're working, 50, 60 hours a week. They've got mandatory overtime. They've got kids soccer and they've got sports and they've got all of this stuff that we have to somehow get in and still fix them. And we do, and we do it really well. But the benefit of this is that for so many people, all of that stuff just magically disappeared overnight. And so there's this opportunity to learn this stuff. And what usually takes people 9 months to learn, people are going through this stuff in 5 weeks and having an actual home management system that is like long-term sustainable, which is crazy. I mean, if somebody, like I said, our course, How to Home Success, takes 9 months to complete. And if somebody had told me when we created it that somebody would be able to go through the entire thing, have it up and running in 5 weeks, and then be able to sustain it, I'd be like, it's unsustainable. You can't do that much. But they are doing it, which is nuts because again, you suddenly have total control of your time, which is huge. So with a basic bare minimum effort home management system, I'm going to give you a couple of clues. The first thing is that you need to focus on foundation. Foundation always comes first. Usually what we do is things that don't matter. We basically trash and untrash things, right? So like the kitchen gets messy, then we go in and we clean up the kitchen, and then the kitchen gets messy again, and then we go in and clean up the kitchen, and over and over and over in different areas. Every single time we're like, I'm gonna get serious, I'm gonna clean something up. A couple of days, and it's trashed again. And so to break that cycle, what we need to do is say, I'm gonna leave that kitchen trash. I sure am. I'm going to enjoy that trash kitchen. Instead of touching it, I'm going to do my foundation, which is dishes, laundry, and schedule a book. And when you do that consistently, those systems are constantly maintained and they never get behind. And those three systems are the thing that has a long-term impact on your every single day. Now, if the kitchen counters aren't clean, is that an issue? Sure. Germs, rats, depending on where you live, I mean, how bad it is. Yes, that is totally an issue. But is it going to affect your every single day? Can you pour a bowl of cereal on a dirty kitchen counter? Yes, you can. What you can't do is pour a bowl of cereal if you don't have dishes, if you don't have a bowl to pour it in. So that's why those dishes are so important, laundry and schedule book. Now, I will grant you that during the pandemic, that schedule book is not as important as it used to be. I don't think I've touched my schedule in a month and a half, which is crazy because the last 8, 9 years of my life, I've trained myself to use that as my brain because I am chronically disorganized. So I can't do anything without a schedule book, but I have not even needed mine in a month and a half. But that being said, if you want this to last long beyond the pandemic, we do need to get in the habit of using the schedule book even now. Once those three things are under control, then you do an additional 15 minutes of decluttering every day. And decluttering is something that doesn't end. It continues on forever. That's when you're going to go through and you're going to just, it doesn't have to be, it can be whatever you feel like organizing, it can be whatever you're most excited about, but you're just taking an area, you're just grabbing, it's not this big thing where you empty out closets and lay everything out and then make decisions and pick it up and say, do I love it? Do I use it? It's not anything like that. You're just going to grab like a grocery bag or a trash bag. You're going to open up an area and reach in and just toss stuff that you don't need, you don't like, or you don't care about, or that is just garbage. And doing that over time, decluttering tends to have phases. Like the first phase, you're really just throwing out actual trash. The second phase, you're like, I probably really don't need that. I'm just going to throw that out. And then when you get to the third phase, like you're really organizing spaces and it's looking nice. But decluttering is something that doesn't end. You kind of do it forever. So if you're doing that, you're going to spend 15 minutes a day on dishes, laundry, and schedule a book, and you're going to spend 15 minutes a day decluttering. That's about 30 minutes a day. That is the core foundation of a good home management system. If you do nothing else but that, then for the rest of your life, you are going to have a house that you won't even recognize. We haven't even cleaned up anything. We haven't cleaned counters. We haven't even gotten into a cleaning system. So if you are struggling with keeping your house clean and you're struggling with all of this stuff, that has to be your focus. Now, if you are rocking a home management routine, if you've already been through Hot Mess to Home Success, if you've already this is all old news to you, you can focus on some higher level things. So like meal planning, budgeting, an actual cleaning system, right? Those are the things that we teach in Hot Mess to Home Success. Those are beyond the foundation. Automation is really easy right now because the whole world has decided to automate. So automation is super great right now. And beyond that, let's say you've got all that stuff under control. Then what are your priorities beyond this? Are you trying really hard to lose weight right now? Do you want to use this time to focus on working out consistently, on sticking to some sort of an eating plan, whether it be I do Weight Watchers and I'm down about 45 pounds since last fall. It's been a life changer for me. But whatever system you want to use, or if you're keto or you're whatever, you're low carb, like whatever you're into, if you want to consistently stick to something for a couple of months to A/B test it, that would be a great time to do this. Maybe you want to start a work from home job, or maybe you want to start a work from home business. This would be a great time to focus on that. But in order to get to that, when we talk about prioritizing, first has to come your job, right? Anything that you have to do to work from home that you are already maintaining income from. Maintaining income, I guess is the best way to say that. And then homeschooling kids has to come next, right? Not for like 8 hours a day, but for the minimum effort that the schools are requiring of you. And then after that is our home management. That's like the next phase of things that have to be done. And then beyond that, we can go into like those upper things of home management, like meal planning, budgeting, cleaning, automation, and we teach that in Hot Mess to Home Success. And then beyond that is the things that are your higher goals, right? So losing weight, working out and getting stronger, maybe working on your relationship, like having like a kick butt marriage or relationship, or parenting, really getting better at parenting. So whatever those upper goals are, then those are going to come in next. I'm a fan of only working on one thing at a time. So if you work on one thing at a time and maintain speed and course in the other things, it is so much easier to make progress because you're focused on one thing versus making marginal goals and 4 or 5 different things. So, and I've done this my whole life. I built a business from scratch with almost no overhead into being a full-time income that provides income for my entire family. And I was able to do that in about 10 months. We were able to go full-time, and I think we're on year 6 or 7. 7, I'm not really sure. And then I was able to lose the 45 pounds. I was able to completely transform our home, like as far as cleanliness goes, keeping everything clean and organized. I was able to completely transform our finances. We reduced our spending by about $23,000 a year. We were able to pay off all of our debt of over $30,000. And all of those things happened not because I was doing it all at once. It's because I was focusing on one thing until it was kind of, I call it mastered. I mean, there's always things that you can do to improve, but mastered to the point where it was not an issue anymore. It was pretty easy for me to maintain. And then once that was mastered, I just maintained speed and course in that. And then we went to the next thing and we focused on that. So I focused on, it really has to be in that level though. It really has to be in that order where home management has to come before anything else because that affects your everyday life. And then beyond that, you need to go into like the budgeting, the cleaning, like the automation. That's part of home management, but it's not just the foundation. It's kind of like bigger than the foundation. And then after that, I did the losing weight next because I found that once all of those other things were under control, I had time and money to focus on losing weight and a lot less stress to focus on losing weight so that it was actually working, and it's been working. And then beyond that, it's whatever you want to do. Where I'm doing marriage now, if that's interesting to you or if that's what you're into, but you could also do parenting. You could do kind of whatever, wherever you feel the most stress, like that is the time to work on that thing. Okay, I feel like I've rambled on for long enough. I hope that that helps. We're going to give you realistic optimal schedules for every situation. And we're also going to teach home management foundation to you. I'm going to leave a link in the comments, and I hope that that helps. Okay, thanks.